Okay, so in this section of the course, we're going to talk about how you how you can make money as a freelancer or an agency owner using advertorials, and how you can use them to massively grow your clients, and get a bunch of quick and easy wins for your clients and make a shit ton of money. So yeah, this section is super important if you want to apply this to your own client base. Let's get straight into it. So you can use advertorial funnels as a additional service to your existing clients. So let's say you do Facebook ads or you do email marketing and you have 6 clients on retainer and those clients have been with you for a few months. You can upsell them, or like kind of like an order bump, message all your clients, be like, hey, we want to do an advertorial funnel for you. Are you open to that? In 90% of cases, your clients will just say yes, right? So that's how one way you can use advertorial funnels as an upsell with your existing clients. Another way you can use them to make money is as a standalone service. Now, I'm not saying you should go and start an entire agency around advertorial funnels. I think it's a bit too niche. But you can still offer it to people as one-time projects or as a standalone service. And I've done that many times. I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars by doing that in 2023. So yeah, it's a super easy offer for your clients because, one, brand owners in general are trying super hard to learn about direct response and implement longer form copy. It's like kind of the new trend. Second reason, brand owners are starting to understand the impact of long form copy, but they don't know how to implement it themselves. Third reason, there's not like a dedicated big agency on the market offering these to D2C brands. Now, you do get some rare agencies like my one, mailerprofit.com, where we kind of specialize in longer form copy and running email lists with a more direct response background. And that's why our clients come to us. And that's why we don't really have competition, because there's not really anyone else as good as us offering it as a service, you know? So yeah, there's not much competition. And the fourth reason, it's pretty easy to close people on, especially if it's already an existing client, because one, your client's already spending money on ads. So if you give them an advertorial funnel and you do all the work for them, all they need to do is just have their media buyer divert like 2 or 5% of their ad spend onto your funnel just to see if it works, right? They're always down to test shit. And you can make it super risk-free for your client by doing the advertorial funnel performance only, or offering like a money back guarantee, or yeah, just doing some sort of performance deal and making it risk-free until you get a few case studies. Like, they're always down for that, you know, because they still have to put the money up for the ad spend. Anyway, so I'm going to show you a couple examples of like me closing people on these advertorials or these cold traffic packages kind of thing. So yeah, here's a package I offered and I literally closed them. So package 1, 3 done for you cold traffic funnels with copy and design. So obviously I run a decently large agency. We have 3 copywriters, we have 3 designers, and our team is really fucking good. So we can design entire funnels top to bottom. And we can even develop them if a client is willing to pay, but we just don't like doing it. And I usually keep my developer for my own ecom brand anyway. But here you can see, right? Package 1, 3 cold traffic funnels with copy and design. So each cold traffic funnel would consist of 3 front-end ad scripts with 2 hooks each. So that comes out to 6 front-end ad scripts in total. 1 advertorial with a split test, 1 sales page with a split test. So that's 6 front-end ad scripts, 2 advertorials, and 2 sales pages. That's 1 funnel. And we're offering the client 3 of those with 2 revisions in the deliverable process with design. And we're charging $18,000 for that. Now, in total, that comes out to 9 front-end ad scripts, or 18 ads, 3 times 2, 6 advertorials, and 6 sales pages, all for a different funnel with different angles that they can split test, right? And on top of that, we're giving them once the funnel goes live and they start spending on it, we're giving them 30 days of on-hand ad hoc support to write new copy, split test different stuff, kill shit that's not working, and work with their media buyer. So that's $18,000. That's pretty high ticket. And we close them on package 2, which is everything I just listed without the design. which is even better because we don't really like designing stuff. I just offered it to get the AOV up of the client, and we closed them. And you can see why, right? Like you might see that and think, wow, that's so expensive. But you have to remember, like, first of all, this brand in particular, they were spending 50K a day on ads. So they had money. Second of all, they can't do what I'm offering them in-house. And even if they could, they couldn't do it to the quality that me and my team can, because we've been doing this for years, and we've been doing it for like really aggressive long form VSLs, selling like weight loss supplements, not fucking, some simple ecom D2C product. And the third reason is it's a one-time fee for a funnel that could literally make them millions of dollars per year. So it's worth it. Now, this one was a while back, this whole offer. We did close them, but it was a while back. And if I had to redo this today, I would change the offer. So I would charge, instead of charging 12K, I would charge $8,000 up front. And then I would charge 1% of ad spend for life. And then I would also make the ad spend kick in after an initial test budget, because you don't want to charge percentage of ad spend out the gate in case it doesn't work and they spend 5K only to find out it's a failure and they have to pay you a percentage. Like, that's kind of bullshit. You don't want to scam your clients, right? You want to make it fair. So allow the client to test it, make sure that it works or that it has promise, and then you can kick in the percentage of ad spend. And the reason I would lower the price and add a performance incentive is because it then incentivizes me and my team to continue optimizing the funnel and split testing over a long period. Because in order to scale one of these to 1,000 buyers a day, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes split testing. It takes working with the media buyers. It takes some effort. You're not just going to write it and write a banger out the gate. It's really rare that happens. So we optimize for that by adding a percentage of ad spend, like these days. Back then, obviously, we weren't doing that, but now we are. Here's another example. So we had this like pet supplement brand. I don't know what you call it, like dog supplements. They basically reached out to me for some email stuff, and I spoke to them, and then I realized we couldn't really help them. Well, we could, but it wasn't really worth it. There wasn't a big opportunity with their email because their list was huge, but in general, there just wasn't much we could do with their email because it was so messy. So what I did instead was I asked them, like, what other stuff are you working on right now? And then they told me like what their challenges are, etc. And then I pitched them on a cold traffic funnel for one of their supplements. So they had this supplement, which was like one of their best sellers, but they'd been struggling to sell it lately and they'd had a dip in overall revenue. So I pitched them on a cold traffic funnel for that supplement and a one-time project to clean up their Klaviyo and do all their flows from scratch and just clean out all the dead emails and do a deliverability audit and fix their deliverability DMARC stuff. So here's how the founder of the company replied. He said, "Can you show funnels, examples? This is something we've wanted to crack for supplements." And then I showed them some examples, and then they basically told me they weren't interested in the email stuff, but I did close them on a cold traffic funnel for 10K. And the deliverables of that cold traffic funnel were like 2 advertorials and 1 sales page with 2 split tests. And that was it. And an upsell page. So upsell copy too, which was like 1,000 words, pretty long form. And the sales page was pretty long form too. It was like a 4,000 word sales page. It wasn't, some short form ecom page. And we didn't design it, but we closed them for 10K. And then they reached out to me like 2 months later saying the funnel crushed it and they were spending like 3K a day or whatever. In total, they paid us 10K for that funnel, and that funnel generated or sold like $400,000 worth of product for them. And then they ended up coming back to me for a lot more one-time projects and funnels. And now we're currently finishing up a funnel for them. And that client has never worked with us on a monthly retainer, but they've paid us like 50 or 60K up to this point, which is really cool. And we've also made them a ton of money. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep coming back for more, right? So those are just 2 examples of offers that I've made to clients and closed. And I've got countless. I've got like 7 or 8 more. I've also got ongoing stuff. So if you become like an email client of mine and you're a brand owner, I've got a bunch of ongoing stuff going on with the clients who work with us on email, where we don't charge them anything up front because they already pay us a retainer and a rev share for their email management. And we just kind of do a percentage of ad spend only on their funnels. But in order to get to that point, we have to trust the client and the client has to trust us. So we don't do that for everyone. It's only for existing clients. Now, how can you price advertorial funnels? It depends on the deliverables, right? in most cases, it doesn't really make sense to do one advertorial as like an odd job. And as a general rule of thumb, if you run an agency or you're a freelancer, you don't really want to be doing odd jobs anyway. They never really work long term, and it kind of fucks up your whole cadence. So the reason doing one advertorial doesn't really make sense is because there's so much outside of your control. For example, who's the media buyer? Does he know what he's doing? What are the ad creatives? Is the sales page converting well? Like all this stuff is out of your control. And the advertorial is just one small part of the funnel. And the second reason is you need to give a bunch of split tests and give ongoing support. Like it's the chat, you can't just expect it to work first time. You have to get feedback from the market, right? So the only time it makes sense to do one advertorial is when you're trying to beat their control. So if a client comes to you and says, hey, this is our best advertorial, you think you can beat this? Then I would personally, with my team, charge between $500 and $750 to beat their control. And then if we beat it, I would be like, and you have to pay us 0.5% of ad spend for 6 months on that ad, or until someone else beats it, or until we beat it again. Now, if the client has deep pockets, like they're rich, and if they're smart, they will just keep paying you for one-time advertorials until you beat theirs. But for a whole cold traffic funnel project, like, 3 advertorials with split tests and 2 sales pages with split tests, I would charge at least something like $6,000 and 2% of ad spend after an initial test budget. So yeah, there's tons of ways to make money offering these with clients. You can even run a cold email sequence, and I bet that would crush if you structure the offer simply enough that people understand it straight away. And you can get really creative with the pricing. So, and you can make a shit ton of money too, really. So yeah,